What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host, Dano here, giving you the best content that you're going to find on the internet. I promise you, if you just give me 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to stay for the entire episode. And today we're going to be talking about how to live our ideal lives. And this is going to be very important. I'm just going to give you guys in the beginning, and I'm going to give you guys the basic tips, and then it'll probably end up going into a little bit more detail on how we can manifest and live our ideal lives right now. So we're going to be talking about all that great stuff. I want you guys to tell me too, before we even get started, if you're watching right now, share some good news that has happened to you maybe this week, this past month, or even during this year, because we are in March already and it's been flying by. So this is going to be an interactive experience. While I'm going to be talking to you guys, I want you to provide any details, any tips, tricks, or anything that you have to share with the Positivity Posse so we can kick it, there it is. I got so much energy right now, I can't even speak. So we can kick this episode off. Like I said, if you're watching for the first time, if you're watching on the replay, if you're watching live, wherever you are watching from, welcome to the show. It's time to get started with Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it, everybody.
E52 is about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Like I said earlier, with your host, your boy Dano, giving you guys all the golden nuggets that you need to live a very happy, rewarding life and to make sure that we're living our dream lives. And we can do that. I will teach you how, because I know that I've experienced it and still am continuing to experience it. Day by day, I really get shocked every day about the things that I've attracted into my life and the things that have happened. I know for me, I'm not even sure how it happened. I just know that it happened. I'm just very thankful that one of the things that have happened to me recently, and when it happened, I was kind of in shock when I saw it manifest in the real world. But my school loans and my school debts have been paid off officially. And when it first hit me, I was like, is this real right now? Like, how the heck did I even manage to attract this into my life? And the way that it came about was just absolutely amazing. It just came from the most unexpected source. But like I said, I'm just very happy and very grateful that it did happen. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, angels, for everything that you've provided me for so far. And like I said, if I can do that and I can, knock away at that debt and, little things like, well, little things like that, it's not really little, but if I can attract things like that have gone on in my life, I just want to share with you guys how it happened and the tips and the techniques and the tricks and the stories that I did in order to make sure that happened for me. And like I said, I'm very grateful. So that's why I wanted to share this with you guys. We're going to be kind of going back to the basics. We're going to start out, basic, but then we're going to go on to talk about some more, not advanced techniques, but things that you might not have known about when it comes to manifestation and the law of attraction. Because a lot of people say that they know about it. And yes, just because you know about something doesn't mean that you actually experience it or that you utilize these, techniques or this lifestyle to your advantage. Because I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to before, they're like, yeah, well, I've heard about that. Yeah, I know about that. But then they go out there in the real world and they end up still treating people in the wrong manner, or end up, talking about themselves negatively. And it's like when the times are trying, they don't really dig deep into their beliefs and actually practice the stuff. So a lot of people say that they might know about it. And, if you do, hopefully this helps you. And if this is your first time hearing about it, then you better bring out your notepad and your pen, because it's time to make this money now. And that's kind of what I use it for. Well, I use it for every area of life. And a lot of people think, let's talk about that. A lot of people think that the law of attraction and manifestation is used for material items. No, yes, it transpires into material items, but it doesn't always have to be about that. You can manifest a great relationship with your significant person that you're trying to look for. You can get that perfect job opportunity that you wanted. You can use it for your lifestyle if you want to travel a lot and if you want to experience all the great things in this world. Those things are kind of not tangible as well. The people are, but the lifestyles and the mindsets and the things that may happen to you, the people, opportunities, I can go on and on. But you can use it for many different areas in your life as well. So it's not always monetary, and it's not always material goods like cars or houses or whatever it is that you want. It could lead to that, yes, but it goes a lot deeper beyond that. And just make sure that when you are talking about this, there's nothing wrong with having all of these great things in your life, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it either. A lot of people say, oh, well, that you shouldn't ask for all the best things in life, or it's not fair if you're rich and I'm not. What are you even talking about? You sound stupid right now. So like I said, don't ever feel bad about wanting to live the life that you want to desire, and never feel bad about, you're not taking away from anybody else, or hopefully you're not doing that. But yeah, like I said, everybody is capable of living this life as well. Don't think that there's only a finite of money and amount of money in this world. Heck no. You already know that a lot of people say, well, if you don't know right now, that the government is printing like billions and hundreds of $1,000,000 every single day. So why can't you get a piece of that pie? And why can't those millions go into your own pocket, or billions if that's what you want? Why can't that go into your pocket? It can. And like I said, we're going to be talking about how it can and how I found that it's helped me in my life as well. Because before, when I can tell you guys, when I was in college and even coming out of college as well, I really didn't have any purpose, and I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. Let me not say I didn't have purpose, because everybody has purpose. But I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time, and I kind of just felt like I was going through the motions of going out every weekend and go to the gym and working, and I was just in this continual cycle that at that time there was nothing wrong with it. But once you wake up, there's no going back to sleep, because now you know that every decision that you do make and kind of most thoughts that you think about will transpire in the real world. So that's just, and the whole point of bringing that up is to say that I know what it was like before when I was still asleep, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but now my life has just changed 1,000,000%, and it just did complete 180. in the good direction. I'm just so happy about that. And you guys are beating me to it. I know I've been talking for a little bit, but if you're watching right now on the replay, like I said, wherever you're watching from, you can watch from Australia, America, England, wherever you're watching from, drop a hashtag positivity posse so that I know you guys are rocking with this great content and you're also raising your vibrations as well. Because when we pour into each other and when we pour into ourselves, the universe feels that and it responds. And if you believe in God, God hears that and it responds to you 10 times, and you never know what these good vibrations may bring. This may be the thing. Just by you commenting, it may start off a great spiral of things that you've been waiting for in your life, and it'll take you down the right path. So you just never know. So might as well do it now, right? And it's just free. It doesn't cost you anything. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are beating me to it. Hashtag positivity posse. Dave in DC, my guy. Jeanette Ramos, hashtag positivity posse. Lou, positivity posse. Thank you guys for being here. And you guys are absolutely amazing. You always crush it week in and week out. Because I don't know. See, it's because I attracted you guys and you guys attracted me into your life. And like I said, I'm very grateful for you guys. Thank you for dropping. Look, even another one, Carmen L. Ramos, hashtag positivity posse. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And just that little comment means the world. So yeah, let's talk about what we need to talk about for today, because there's so much to cover. And we have such 50 minutes really isn't enough. It's really an hour, but even then, that's not enough. My guy, Ryan O'Neill, hashtag positivity posse. Thank you guys. Still coming in strong. Really appreciate it. So I wanted to do this as the topic for the episode. Let's talk about some manifestation techniques and ideas and tricks in order to really see what we need to do in order to live our life. And sometimes we need to go back to the basics to really revisit and kind of instill some ideas that maybe we've forgotten about, to make sure that we are living our ideal life right at this very instant and at this very moment. And one of the questions that you're probably thinking about right now is, if it's so easy to do this stuff, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, I know I had this information. I guess I attracted this information before I consciously knew what it was. And I think that's the key right there. If it's so easy, why isn't everybody doing it? I think not a lot of people know about it or are educated in this realm, in this world of personal development in this fashion. Because, there's things that you can do. A lot of people like to, make their bed in the morning, right? Every day. That's the first thing that some people do. I don't do that. The first thing I do is I meditate when I wake up. But a lot of people look at the outside things and say, okay, well, you need to make sure your car is clean and your office is clean. Because once that's clean, then your mind is clean. And a lot of people take the outside route because that's all that they physically see. And that's what we equate into, living here on earth, is what's reality, right? What can we physically touch and see? And a lot of people just take whatever we are, whatever we're looking at face value, and that's it. But it goes inward as well. And, with the law of attraction, you have to understand that everything that happens in our outside world is a reflection of our inside world. And you guys have heard me say that probably at least 50 times an episode, right? Because it's true. And that's what I find to be true. And I want to share with this to you guys because I just feel like it's not taught. It's definitely not taught in schools. And if we are really hitting, well, that's why they call it The Secret, right? That's why they say, everything that you learn about. There's a movie called The Secret, the book called The Secret. But that's why they call it The Secret, because not many people know about it. And could you imagine if everybody did know about this information? The world would be just such a greater place. And, that's another thing too. Everybody is capable of living whatever lifestyle that they want. And, obviously the ones that they want, but their ideal lifestyles and their dream lifestyles, but you just need to learn how to do it. So let's talk about number one. We're going to be talking, actually, you know what? Before we even jump into the meat and the potatoes of the segment for today, episode for today, we're going to talk. I want to share with you guys a video that I found online, and I thought this was kind of one of the coolest things. It was an experiment done by Masaru Emoto, and it was about the study of water. And here it is. This is the video is really quick, and I'm probably going to skim through it because it's kind of boring because it's just pictures and music. But the experiment that this guy did is absolutely amazing. So let me just rewind the video. All right, perfect. So this guy, he studied the molecular structure of water. And what happened was these people would talk to the water, and they would say different phrases to the water, and he wanted to see if that had any reaction to the water, right? So some people said, I love you, I love you, I love you to the water before it was frozen. Some people said, I hate you, or some people listen to heavy metal music. Some people listen to symphonies, and the video is going to be talking about that. But that's just a quick preview to what I want to show you guys. The video is really interesting. Let me know your thoughts and let me know your comments, because when I saw this, I said, wow, I'm going to share with you what I thought after I saw the video to take it one step further. But here it is. I want to share with you guys the video. Let me just make sure that the sound is actually working. And here it is. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to be doing this right now. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Here it is. I'm actually going to try to speed it up if I can. I know that you can do the playback speed because it's just like a bunch of, captions. So let's try it. We're going to speed it up. So like you just saw in the video, this was the picture of love and gratitude. So when the person was speaking to the water, this is the molecular structure that the water formed, which I thought was pretty interesting because it looks like a snowflake, and it's pure and has such a great shape. And you guys should see the other one. So here it is. So that's the one. I thought this was so cool when I saw this. You guys see such a big difference in the two shapes that they formed. The other one was so beautiful and nice, and that's something that only the universe and God can create because it's so beautiful. But look at this, evil. It's all nasty, and look at all them holes, and I don't know. Even just looking at it just makes me feel the wrong way. But yeah, I just thought that was so interesting, and we're gonna go through the rest of the sayings that these people were speaking to the water before it got froze. All right, so that was the end of the video, but I thought that was so interesting how these water molecules change shape depending on what you say or how you're feeling towards the water. And what I noticed, if you guys saw the positive emotions and all the great things that the water molecules told when you said love and gratitude and symphony and peace, it kind of reminded me of snowflakes. And as we all know, if the snowflakes are formed like that from the universe, that just tells me that everything that goes on, on the grand scheme of things or what the earth provides is all great, loving, peaceful things. But when you come to the human side of everything, we're the ones that do that to ourselves, where we speak the negativity or we listen to things that music that isn't all that great for us. Because we all know, I mean, it's no secret that rap music, what do we all talk about? We talk about drugs and violence and women and stuff like that. So if that's the things that goes on just to a glass of water, number one, imagine if we were to listen to that, kind of music. And don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of it too. I like rap music. I like all kinds of music. But imagine if we, are screaming at somebody before we drink water. We're breaking bread and we're eating with somebody that we don't want to eat with or that we don't like. Imagine what that's doing to our own bodies. Because think about it. What are we, 90, 96 or 98% water, something like that? So if we are tuning ourselves to these frequencies, that is the emotions and the vibrations that we're vibrating at. And as I'm going to show you guys this picture, I actually love this picture. Like I said, I know I've shown this a few times here, but think about it like this. So if we are, feeling this type of way in combination with the video that we just saw at these low vibrations, imagine what our bodies are vibrating at and what our molecules are looking like on the inside. And that's when I feel as though, sickness and disease can come about, because you saw the shape of those things from the first hand. I just thought that was super interesting. And when we are, vibrating here at the peace and the love and the joy, as you saw with those water molecules, that's what's going on inside of our own bodies as well. And I thought that experiment was so cool. Let me know what you guys think about that. If that was something you learned something new. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, there's no way. So now I've been actually taking the practice of, saying good things like I love you before I take a sip of water, or feeling good before I drink a sip of water, because if that water is holding on to that memory, then that's what's going inside our bodies. And that's just another technique that we can use to make sure that we're, experiencing happiness and living life to the fullest. And, take with that information what you want to do with it. It may be like a coincidence for you, which I don't believe there's anything as a coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason. But if that's for you, then I'm happy to have taught you something new. When I first saw that, I said, wow, that's so cool. My positivity posse, we gotta learn this. I can't wait to share with you guys day in and day out all the great things that I've learned. And you guys have taught me, so many things as well. And I'm just so happy and honored to be here with you on this Thursday. There's nowhere else that I'd rather be than here with you guys every week, week in and week out. Last week we were at Brotherton Brewery in Acco, where I interviewed Mario Parti. He won Man of the Year by New Jersey Magazine. So if you want, go check out that episode. That one was absolutely amazing as well. Shameless plug. So let's talk about some different manifestation tips. And like I said, we're going to start with the basic, with number one being the law of attraction. So if you guys don't know what the law of attraction is, in like the very simple definition, it's whatever thoughts we think about will manifest into our lives in that way. So if we're thinking about positive things, positive experiences will come about in the same fashion. But if we're thinking about negative things, then negative things will happen into our life. And that's it basically in a nutshell. Yes, it sounds so simple, but in order to be aware of our thoughts and to make sure that we're thinking about positive things all the time, with so many outside forces maybe working against us or not in our favor, that it's really hard to do. And if you don't have constant practice with it, or you don't know different ways to combat, maybe the negative things that are working against us, and not everything obviously is negative and working against us, because there are the people and the positive forces as well. But that just brings up my point. Whatever you think about will happen that way. So if you think that the world is against you, then things are not going to be as easy and smooth as fun for you. But if you think that everybody is here to help you get to that next level, and there are people waiting to speak to you to help you with your piece of the puzzle, or to help you reach that next level, then that is what's going to happen in your life. You are going to reach that next level, and we will start to see a positive trail and a positive, things start to happen to us. So that's just that in a nutshell. Like I said, if you're watching, tell me if you guys believe in it, if some, great things have happened to you from using this strategy, this technique, this lifestyle, whatever it is. Drop it in the comments, because I want to show people that this is a real thing. Because I mean, even if you're still skeptical about it, you can try it for yourself. Try to manifest something small, like something you wouldn't even really think of, like maybe a cup of coffee. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to set it into my intention that, somebody will buy me a cup of coffee within the next week or month, or whatever the timetable you want to do it. I mean, if you were to try to do it tomorrow, you got to be careful about that, because then you're doing it on your timing, and you're trying to do it from a force-based perspective to say, okay, well, you're going to give it to me tomorrow, and if not, then I don't believe in it. You can't be like that. because then it's very nuanced. And that's why I love to give you guys this information and different tips to make sure that we are, making sure that we know how to use this strategy correctly and in our favor. So, like I said, drop it. Good news, stories, anything that you have to share as far as the law of attraction. I want to hear about it, and I want to share with everybody else that it is possible too. Because there might be somebody out there that's just starting this journey, or they might be an expert on it. And wherever we are, it's just great to know that other people are there with us, and we are in this together. Because a lot of people think, oh well, this only happens to me, or you don't know what's going on in my life, or blah, 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 blah. Whatever excuse, yes, I said it, whatever excuse you want to make for yourself, you're just going to get more of that. So it's very important that we know and we share and we learn from each other to make sure that we're changing the world, and we're changing our own paradigms, because you never know what might happen just from leaving a comment, or just from changing, selecting a different path. And it may be something as the smallest decision to maybe go into a store or just knock on the door for somebody. Because I remember I was looking at a building because I have other endeavors with the wrestling company that I'm a part of. There was a door that from a building that nobody was inside of. So I knock on the door, and I'm just like, damn, well, nobody's answering. It's me and my partner, and we're just thinking, we're like, all right, well, this isn't going to work out. So he has the idea to say, hey, well, maybe we should knock on the neighbor's door of the building to see if, somebody's there, or if this might help us. Now, it was at that moment where I could have just said, nah, I'm not really feeling it. Let's just go back to the car and drive away. Or, nah, I don't know what this person might think. They might, be negative or whatever it may have been. But I was just open to the moment and said, okay, well, I'm going to make the intention that this person is going to treat us with love and kindness, and it's going to work out in our favor. So we actually ended up knocking on that door, and then that person referred us to the door literally on the same corner of the block, right down the street. And then we knocked on that door, and we actually got the information that we needed to get to, as far as renting that building for our different endeavors and projects. But if we wouldn't have done that, then we wouldn't have learned about that information, made that new connection, and you just never know what would have happened from that moment on. So always be open and setting the positive intention to make sure that, we're achieving the life that we want. And you just got to have faith that everything is happening for us to serve us for our greatest good as well. Because in that moment of time, we kind of might not understand why everything is happening the way that it is. But I promise you, whether it's a week, a year, or 5 years down the line, we will understand why that stuff all made sense for us and did work out in our favor in the beginning. And, I'm going to use this example as well. I know with Lou, he applied very early on. He has his job now, which is absolutely amazing. But I remember in the very beginning, he applied to somewhere, and that place didn't give him the job at the beginning, and he got rejected. And I remember he was thinking, man, why did this happen? And we didn't know at the time why it was happening, but it happened. And, he kept good spirits about it. And now he's in a great, even greater position now than he was if he were to just wallow and say, oh, well, I'm not going to keep going with this, that type of thing. But it all worked out in his favor. And that's the idea and the example that I wanted to use just because it came up right now. So yeah, it's all working out in our favor is what we need to realize and understand. So awareness of the law of attraction, of the things that we think about, is also very important, because we are the gatekeepers of everything that goes on in our mind. We have to, it's going to sound corny, but we have to be like the soldiers. And if there's only one way for things to enter through, which is through our mind, we have to stand there at the gate and say, okay, well, your positive thought, okay, you can come in. You have a positive thought, okay, you can come in. If a negative thought is trying to come, or if a negative experience is trying to happen, or somebody's trying to feed you negative thoughts, then you have to block that and counter it, just to make sure that it doesn't seep into your subconscious mind and your conscious mind and things like that. And it's very important, because it's so hard because we think about I think it's like over 20,000 thoughts a day. I know the number may be a little bit more than that, but imagine if we're not careful and we're not being aware of what we think about in a day, then it's just kind of chaos going on in there. And, chaos energy is not the thing that we want. And when we're able to pinpoint what things, it says can't post some comments to some destinations. So I guess some people were commenting from different destinations, but I can't see it right now. So Facebook and YouTube, if you guys are commenting, is the best place to do it. But it's very important that we're the gatekeepers of our mind. And that's not even just from like people. There's content that we can consume. If you're just mindlessly scrolling on YouTube, or if you're watching stuff on TV about, murder mysteries, because I know that's a big one with like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing and, serial killers. And I know there was another one that I just recently saw. It was about the Tinder swindler. If you're watching things like that in scary movies, yes, that's what you're consuming on the digital, media side of everything. And, consumption is not just always food, which that's also a great thing as well. If we're eating junk food and we're eating fats and oils and sugars, we have to be mindful of that as well, because that can also limit the amount of energy. And like I said, all this is just to say consumption can go for spiritual, mind, body, all of that stuff. And we have to be mindful of what we are consuming in that as well. And another thing, the biggest thing for me is people. Stop letting other people bring you down and make you get out of character, because there's nothing that people can do in order to force you to feel a certain way. They can try different tactics, if they can try, slandering your name and trying to throw dirt on you, spread rumors. If you feed into that, you're giving these people the power to, bring you down, and you're giving them the power to say, hey, well, if they're feeling down, then they want to bring you down with them, because misery loves company. And another thing that we need to understand is that everything that people say is a reflection of themselves, right? So if somebody says, oh, you're broke, right? And even if it may be true, you can't let these people, get to you. You can't let them, get you down from whatever high flying this or whatever positive vibration you're feeling. Even if it's true, number one, don't let other people say it, or don't feed into that. And then number two, fight that with, don't look at what's going on in our physical world. Understand that, yes, this is only temporary. Maybe you want more money. Maybe you're trying to attract that significant partner. Maybe you want, that nice car or that nice job opportunity. If you feed into that and you are actually thinking that, you're not worthy of that job, or that you're broke, or you don't have enough money, then that's what's going to manifest into our lives. So we have to understand, which is number two, we're going to talk about the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And that's the best way to fight that. So if you have somebody in your life, or you have things that, you need to change in your life, the best tip that I can give you is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And when I said we're going to be talking about something that's, in depth, I think this is another thing that people don't know about. Because yes, with the law of attraction, what we think about, we're going to get more of it. But the feeling is what activates the law of attraction. Because think about it. If you're sitting there saying, okay, well, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. Versus, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. You see the difference in those two phrases? Because if you're just saying it and you're not feeling it within yourself, then these great things that you want to happen in your life are not going to happen to you. So you have to embody whatever your end result is right now. And, if you're thinking, okay, you want money, because I feel like that's what people want the most. I know that's what I want. You have to think about that end result, living in the final destination right now. And not final destination as in the scary movie, but in the place where you want to be right now. So if you want a person who's going to be loving, nurturing, let's say you want to attract a significant partner, right? Significant other. In order to attract them, you need to be that person right now. So if you want somebody that's loving, caring, is going to take care of you, and going to be with you through all the thick and the thin, you have to be that person right now, and you have to be that in other people's lives. If your friends' lives, you have to show them that same support and that same love. And when you're doing that, you're living in your end result right now. And I'm telling you guys, it will activate, and this will be the thing that gets you through and helps you manifest whatever it is that you want. We're going to be talking about more the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I'm going to play a few commercials, and I actually need to go grab some water because my throat is starting to get dry from talking for 30 minutes straight. Don't go anywhere. Like, share. Like I said, comment some great things that have happened to you in your lives, some great experiences, stories. I want to hear about it. The Positivity Posse wants to hear about it. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back afterward from our sponsors on the Weekly Dose of Dano TV show. Don't go anywhere. Share, like, and we'll be right back after the word from our sponsors. everybody, that was just a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors for sponsoring the Weekly Dose of Dano TV show. Man, like I said, I need to go grab a sip of water because talking for 30 minutes straight is actually 36 minutes straight. It's not so easy, and it's not as easy as it looks. I don't know how people perform, let's just say in the opera or musical performances or plays. I don't know how they do that just for so many minutes straight. I know there's different tips that I can do, like, eating honey before the show and like drinking, I think lemon water is another thing, and, vocal warm-ups, but I can't sing. I'm not doing that. That's why I got the power of the commercials and the, and the commercial breaks for everything. So we're talking about the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and that just means living in your ideal state right now. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Dano, are you kidding me? You really want me to pretend like I have whatever it is that I dream of having? Yes, I am saying that 100%. And you may think that it's crazy because you're like, well, I don't have it right now. So how the heck am I supposed to feel that way? And a lot of people think that in order to, believing is seeing. A lot of people think that seeing is believing. So if you see it, then you believe it. But you have to believe in whatever it is that you have, and then you'll be able to see it manifest in the 3D world. And it's like, well, why is it that you want me to feel whatever it is that I have right now? And here it is. There's three different things on why, or three different reasons why you should live in that feeling of the wish fulfilled right now. Number one, when you do that, you are raising your vibration because once you have that thing that you desire, you're going to be happy. You're going to be joyful. You're going to be operating from a place of love. So that's number one. You're going to be raising your vibrations, and all the great things that will happen to you will lead you to that end goal of whatever it is that you do want. Whether it's that job position, I say the same things over for the manifestation things like jobs, cars, houses, significant others, because this is the things that people want the most of, and I feel like it's the most common thing. And if there's something else that you want to attract, let me know what it is that you guys are trying to attract as well. Because when you say it and you're sending it out and you're sending it through maybe a text version, or you're writing it down, you're not really sending it to me. You're sending it to the universe as well, and other people that are a part of the positivity posse. There might be somebody that can get you to that next location, or that they can get you to that next level. And obviously, if you guys are watching right now, I attracted only the positive people. So this is a safe space for you to comment all the great things that you want into your life. And there's nobody here that I see that is going to hinder you or take that away. It's only going to add to you, because it's like, when you ever, I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but all right, well, everybody experienced going to a sporting event, right? When you have one person in the crowd, it's not as electrifying and the energy isn't as high versus somebody, you go to a stadium to watch the game where it holds 70,000 people. The more people that you have that are in the positive light, the better. And that's what you guys are here for. And like I said, I'm very appreciative of the positivity posse and you guys coming in week in and week out. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I would just be talking to a camera into a mic and nobody would be listening. But it's because of you guys that this is, possible. And I'm just very grateful and thankful for you guys as well. So like I said, number one, when you live from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, number one, you're raising your vibration. Number two, you can focus, you eliminate how everything is going to happen, and you just have the faith that it's going to happen. Because some people can't see how they can get $1 million, or they can't see how they're going to get their dream house. But when you just know that you're going to have it, you have that faith. And faith is obviously a high vibration. And I'm always going to break it down and bring it back to vibration, because we are all vibrational beings, and everything that we're seeing, feeling, and touching has a vibration to it. Like this camera that I'm talking to, this microphone, this hoodie, the shirt that I have underneath it, everything vibrates at a certain level. So that is why it's so important to understand that. And that's why I'm always going to bring it back, because we are living in a vibrational world and we are vibrational beings. So number two, when you change your focus to how it's going to happen, when you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you're not focused on how things are going to happen, but you have that faith to know that it is going to happen. And that's very nuanced, but you can hear the difference on how it is going to happen. There it is. Sending the love emojis right there, the hearts, hashtag positivity posse. Thank you guys for dropping that. Like I said, and you're just raising your vibrations, and all the great things that are happening are as a result of, us coming together, coming together as one, raising the vibrations of the earth and within ourselves, and all great things will start to happen. So if you're watching, I'm going to say it one more time. Please drop a positive thing that's happened to you, story, technique, something positive, just because we want to hear about it. And we want to make sure that, we're not in this by ourselves, and that it is possible to live our dream ideas and our dream lives right here in the now. So the third thing about living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is you stop activating that kind of like scarcity or limited energy or mindset that we have. Because think about it, a lot of the reason that people want something is because they don't have it, right? And that's what we always say, whether it's like a person, we want that person because we can't have them, or that's just one example. But when you're so worried about attracting the thing that you want because you don't have it, the primary vibration and the primary idea is you operating from that source of limited mindset and that scarcity. So a lot of people want money because they don't have the money, and they're constantly thinking, well, I don't have this, I don't have it, I don't have it. That's the dominant vibration that's taking place. So when we have that feeling of the wish fulfilled, we stop activating that scarcity, limited energy, and we start activating that, energy of abundance, that we already have it, that faith, that joy, and that love. Because like I bring this up so many times, but I'm going to bring it up again, this picture too. If we're like, okay, if we don't have money, well, a lot of people want money, but they're activating it from a place of fear to say, okay, well, I need this money to come into my life. And then it becomes force based, and then it's not in that place of ease and flow and love. And that's why the things that we want to happen won't happen, because this is our dominant vibration right here at that level of fear. We're like, okay, well, we want to attract this money because we're fearful that if we don't have the money, then we won't be able to pay our bills. And then, all the things that comes about not paying your bills with getting evicted or the credit score going down. And that's why when we have that feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, we understand that, okay, now we love ourselves because we were able to pay our bills. We have that peace right here, even a little bit above that sense of love and that vibration of love. We have that peace that since we paid our bills, nobody can come in and take our house, and nobody can come in and evict us from our place, because we understand that if we have that feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, and we're operating from that place of love and joy and peace, it will manifest into our lives. And stop worrying about how it's going to happen. Have the faith that it is going to happen, and that you're working on yourselves, and that that since you're a good person, and that things are working out for you. All right. So that's what we need to understand in our lives, because like I told you earlier, I mean, that's one of the things that, my school debt got cleared, and that it's all paid off for, which I'm super, super grateful about. But there's so many different things that I can be grateful for, and that you can be grateful for too. We woke up today, right? That's like the biggest, easiest thing that we could always refer to. If we woke up today, we have another chance to chase our dreams and our opportunities, and to meet great people, and to experience the great things that this life has to offer, whether it's a great cup of coffee, whether it's a dream vacation, all these different things. We have the opportunity to change somebody's lives. These are the things that we need to worry about. We need to not worry about, that we need to focus on. And why it's so important to understand about feeling of the wish fulfilled, the law of attraction, just being a good person in general, is all contributing to our success in our life. Whether we see it in the immediate manifestation or something that happens 5 years down the line, just know that it's all working out for you. And since you're operating from this place of love, everything that happens in the outside world has no choice but to operate from that same place of love as well. So that's why it's important. Feeling of the wish fulfilled, another way that you can say it, just to let you guys know, is living in your ideal self right now, and living in the end result now. Once you hit that place of love, and once you hit that place of, damn, I finally made it, all of this work has, paid off. I know what that feeling is going to be for me. I already see it, and I already know I'm going to experience it. When I'm sitting on a private beach right now outside of my shore house, and I'm sitting there with a little drink in my hand, and I'm just looking at the sun on a great day and 90-degree weather, and the water is crystal blue. I'm living that right now in my head, and I'm experiencing it right now because I know it's going to happen. And that's what you got to do. And that's just my way of finding peace. And I just love the shore. So that's why I really want to experience that. And to have a shore house is one of my goals. So in order to bring that about, we have to make sure that we're living in that moment now, no matter what's going on. There can be screaming and all this crazy stuff going on in the world, but we don't focus on that. While yes, we have to be attentive of it, because you can't just let other people come in and walk all over you. You just make sure that we are imagining that final place that we want to be, where it's like the highest point of our life. We can live that right now, right now, right now. So let me give you guys some strategies or techniques in order to make sure that when we are practicing, it will come about faster and stronger, and we can expedite the process. So I don't even know, maybe about 8 things written down for us to really work on and to really focus. So here it is. These are in no particular order. All of these are helping to your greatest degree, and if it's all helping you out, it doesn't matter in what order they should fall in. Sorry, my Invisalign is actually scratching my mouth right now, and I got to fix this after I get off. So thank you guys for letting me know. I wouldn't have really recognized it if I wasn't talking with you guys right now. So number one is journaling. Journaling really helps for the feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, and I'll share with you guys how I journal. This is kind of a new thing that I've been doing, and it hasn't been an everyday thing, which it really needs to be, and I need to up the numbers on it, on how frequently I do it. But the way that I journal is I'll take, a video on YouTube talking about, all my problems are solved right now. I'm expecting a great amount of lump sum of money. I'm confident in who I am and in myself. So many, whatever it is that you want to find on YouTube for those positive affirmations, you will find. So I'll take headphones, put them in my ear, just saturate my mind with whatever positive, vibrations or affirmations that I'll do. And I'll find a mantra that I want to write, whether it's acquiring a large sum of money, whatever it is that you want. I'm just using this as an example because this is what I want. And I'll just sit here and I'll put my timer on for 20 minutes. And 20 minutes really isn't that long. It goes by quick like that. So I'll just sit here listening to these great positive affirmations in my ear, writing, journaling, whatever positive things I want to experience in my life. And when you have that saturation of these great positive messages in our mind, it sinks into our subconscious mind. And they say that 90% of everything that we experience is due to our subconscious mind and our programming. And that's why it's very important to make sure that we are the gatekeepers of what goes on through our conscious mind, because it sinks into our subconscious mind, and that's what actualizes into our world as well. So that's why journaling is so important, and that's why I need to up my numbers on it. But I do it at least 2 to 3 times a week, which is good. But like I said, I should be doing it every day, just to make sure that we are, that I'm experiencing everything it is that I want to experience. Number 2, in order to, work on the law of attraction and to the feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, is have a vision board. I have a vision board in my room, which I need to update the goals that I have on there, because I did it for last year's, and not that it took me a year to update it, but I need to revisit it just to change it, because as we go about through our lives, everything does tend to shift and move, and things will start to change to say, okay, well, if I achieve this goal, now what? I got to work on my next goal. And that's actually the things that I need to change on there. But when you see it every day, and that seeps into your subconscious mind as well, because you'll see it as you're walking by, and you're like, okay, well, now I know that whatever decision that I need to make, whether it's working on a document or calling that person that you need to call, these things, you'll start to make decisions that will help you to achieve and manifest and solidify everything that you want to happen into your life. So work on that vision board as well. Work on the things and the goals that you need to do for the day or for the week to make sure that you're staying on the right path and that you're attracting everything that you need to or that you want to into your life. Number 3, like I said this before, don't worry about how it's going to happen, because when we're so wrapped up in the how it's going to happen, then we start to think, okay, well, how is it going to happen? And then we're in that feeling of it being unsure of how it's going to happen. Then we start to have that fear of the unknown, and it just starts to spiral down. So like I said, don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just have faith that it will happen, and God in the universe or whatever you believe in will start to make a way for you to make sure that we're experiencing all the great things that we want to experience in our lifetime. Right there, Golden Nuggets, thank you so much. if you have any tips or ideas, I already know what Nancy you're gonna say. Actually, I know that you're very faith based and you're very in tune with God, and I know that that's what it all kind of leads back to. But I can already tell if you had to give us a tip, Nancy, that one was going to be. And I agree with you 1,000% as well, because they will make a way. And when you start to believe in it, I don't. I think this is. I don't even know what verse it is, but I remember it was somewhere in the Bible that as a man thinketh in his heart is what he shall become. So, like I said, if that's what you guys resonate with, always just make sure that you're, developing that relationship and that you're working on yourself as well. Because there's nobody else is going to come in and save you. Nobody's going to do it for you. You may think that all these other people or happiness is found on the outside. It's not. It's all found within ourselves and in our heart. So just make sure that we are, strategizing and working on our inner work, because that's what it's really all about. And that's what everything that we experience on the outside world is a result of everything that goes on with inside of us. And I know I say that over and over again, but it is such the truth. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I would just suggest and at least encourage you to try it. Maybe if it's for a week or maybe it's for a month, because once you will do it for, let's just say, minimum a week, you'll start to fall in love with it. And then you'll see all the great things that have happened from it. And, even something like tonight, I'm actually going to start a self-defense class. And that was one of the things that I wanted to manifest into my life. And now it's here and I'm really excited for it. And that's just another example for you guys on why or how this stuff works. And like somebody actually bought me ghee and was really supportive, and they really wanted me to do this. So I'm telling you, all the cooperative components in your life will manifest for you and it will come about. And I can go on with examples and examples and stories of how this stuff is the truth. But no matter what I say, you just got to try it for yourself, because I just know that it works for me. And I know this is the way, this is the truth and the way of life. And, thank you guys for tuning in, supporting. And I'm just so grateful for you guys for making this happen. So number 4, tips and strategies to work for the manifestation, the law of attraction, the feeling of the wish fulfilled right now, is to read and to study topics on it. Abraham Hicks is a good source to learn about all this stuff. Neville Goddard is another one. There's a video series or a guy on YouTube that I watch. His name is Joseph Rodriguez. He talks about all these great things. And, you don't know what you don't know. So in order to study it and to learn more about it, that's when you can start to really make this stuff concrete, and you can start to develop an even stronger presence within yourself. Because I equate it to going to the gym. When you first start off at the gym, you're not going to be lifting 300 pounds, but it is a slow and steady start. And once you start to learn about, fitness, and you learn about diet and the different components that go along with it, that's when you'll start to get stronger. And that's when you'll start to see your body change. And like I said, when you start to learn about it and study it, you can have a greater degree of what goes on and a better practice in it. And you'll see the great things happen for you quicker, at a greater level, at a greater speed, and greater opportunities will happen for you as well. And greater people, all the things, and you'll live a greater life. And the life that you want, it is possible to live. Number 5, we're going to talk about saturating your conscious mind. Like I said, that goes with information, that goes with positive music, that goes with positive affirmations, that goes with surrounding yourself with positive people. All of this stuff does make a difference in your life as well. And that's why, like I said, there's so many different tips that you can do in order to make sure that you're living this dream and you're living this law of attraction and you're living your dream life. But like I said, these are just my different tips. Number 6 that I can bring about to you guys is, before you go to sleep, you should listen to, positive affirmations and maybe meditations, because they do have sleep meditations that, even though you may be sleeping and your conscious mind is sleeping, like I said, it will start to hit your subconscious mind, so that next morning you'll start off with a great path. And, you'll think, damn, wow, I do get to live another life, and I have another chance and another opportunity to live this great life. And all these things will work out in our favor. So listen to positive things before you go to sleep. And before, I used to think, man, I can't listen to somebody talk or give me positive affirmations while I'm going to sleep. I'm trying to sleep. You will start to get more comfortable with it. And you don't have to listen to it at a high volume either. You can listen to it to like a quarter of the way, but as long as you barely hear it, you just know that it will process into your mind as well. Number 7, because we only have a few minutes left. Watch your language. Watch how we speak. Watch how we speak to ourselves. Watch how we speak to other people. This stuff and the things that we do say will start to affect and start to manifest in our lives. Why do you think it is that when you write something, they call it spelling? Because you are casting spells upon yourself or other people. So when you have good language and you have good script and you have good writing, that's good spells that you're, conditioning yourself to think. And spells doesn't have to necessarily be like a bad thing, but that's how we, I equate it to programming of our bodies and of our minds. Spells and the kind of programming are kind of the same. But when we have, when we speak negatively about ourselves, even in a joking way, our bodies and our minds can't tell the difference between a joke and what's the truth. So if we're constantly telling ourselves and speaking great things into our lives, then that is what will transpire into our life and transmute into our lives. So watch the way that we speak to ourselves, and even what language that goes with anything. If you're watching a movie that has, a lot of curse words or, a lot of bad things that they're talking about, just be careful with that as well. Like I was watching the Chris Rock. He talked about the Will Smith slapping. He just recently came out with a stand-up. And man, I was kind of shocked because every other word that came out of his mouth was something that was, negative. And I didn't really like it too much. I thought it was kind of funny, but, just be mindful is my point of what it is that we're consuming. And then the last tip that I can give to you guys is to have faith. Always understand that there are beings that are greater than us, whether it's the universe, God, angels, whatever you subscribe to, whatever you believe in, that's great. Just develop that relationship and develop that faith, that they always have your back and that they're never, ever, they'll never let you fail, and you can never get it wrong. You're just experimenting through life. So just have that confidence and have that faith within yourself and that higher being that they will take you to the point where you want to go. And whatever it is that you dream of and anything that you desire, you will achieve it and it will come into your life. So there it is, everybody. That's the episode for the day, for the week. Come back next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano. We have a great guest coming on next week. I can't tell you who it is just yet. You got to come back next week to find out. And I will see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. And remember, always believe in yourself and develop that higher, relationship with that higher beings. And I hope you guys have a great, safe weekend. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Peace.